I don't know. Well, hey guys, welcome back to AC Auto Carts. So here we are looking at the 84 EZGO, and I've been mulling over what I want to do with this thing. I am hopeful that I'm not biting off more than I can chew. It's pretty ratty, but that might make for the coolest project. Oh, this? Yeah, that's another pile of garbage. I guess I'll show you what this is about here. Let's get started. All right, so a little while back, I did a video on picking this guy up. It's just been sitting over here in the corner ever since I pushed it into that spot. Yet again, there's no guts in it. There were no guts in it. This is exactly how I got it. Obviously, the battery tray is missing. The axle has this different electric motor set up on it, which left me a little bit concerned because if I ever wanted to change this motor, I haven't even figured out how that motor is mounted, but I know that it's not traditional, and I know that it's not compatible with like a lot of those Navitas kits. So I didn't really want to use that rear axle. Hence this. This one popped up on Craigslist. It's a very similar model. It has a normal rear end in it. And by normal, I mean the electric motor is parallel like that to the tires and the axle. The other reason I got this, the steering column. I could not find a steering column for less than 250, 300 bucks. And then rear ends, forget about it. The rear end was 1100. So I picked this thing up for a few $100s. It's got a bunch of parts on it that we would need. You would think that I would maybe just use this cart for the project, but the body panels on it are coming apart here. I don't know how these come apart. I have never taken one of these apart. When you get them, it looks like it's kind of all together. So I guess that's going to be step one. Figure out what this is. I won't, destroy this cart anytime soon, at least until I figure out, heck, can I take the patinaed body off of this and maybe stick it on that frame? Just because the frame itself is in a little bit better shape. But again, I want the look of this guy. So we will experiment with that, I think, tonight. For some reason, it smells like mouse houses, but I haven't found one. But it smells terrible. I know we're outside. It didn't smell like that before. So the other problem, I got two broken bolts in here. So I might just take this entire gear out and swap it for the other one. But really, I have to experiment and see, am I just better off trying to get this nose cone and this exterior body off of this and maybe just put it on this one. This particular one evidently ran when parked, right? Got a Bluetooth seat cushion here. Seat frame is bent. So this will come off. I'm going to maintain all of this hardware because we'll probably use it to build certain things on this one or vice versa or whatever. I don't plan to run a rear seat on either one of them with this particular project. It did have a full set of batteries, so I'll show you those. So they've been sitting around a little while. I don't know. Think I could get them to work? Maybe we can charge them up. Oh, that one might be down. It's going to be warm today, or well, it's going to be warm tonight, but tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nice Saturday too. So tomorrow afternoon, maybe I'll be able to pressure wash this guy off and then do a little bit more of that Saturday. But I think I'm just going to roll it in the garage, see how much of this I can get apart. None of this is going to be usable, so we'll just take that out. And now that I have this guy that I have a template for, if you will, I mean, sure. But truthfully, I really don't plan on using any of that. So we'll just see what we can do with it. And I'm wrapping up work for the day. I brought this up front. I started picking it apart. So we'll vacuum some of this stuff out before we pressure wash. I think I might undo that, but I definitely found the smell. There was a huge mouse house stuffed inside the cup holders. So I kind of just dumped it down in there. Oh, look. Uh-oh. Yeah. One ran into the garage. I think there was like 4 in there. So I've been looking for them, but I haven't seen them. All right, it's a few days later. Oh, never mind the sketchiness. It's fine. It's not moving. So it's really not that bad underneath, with the exception of, that battery tray area. So I think I'll be able to cut, these guys out. This probably needs reinforcement. But I'm going to start trying to clean some of this up and make a plan for that. Definitely will replace this. I won't need this, and well, we'll probably end up welding in new supports because I will put a full floor in it out of some tin, or at least something this substantial. Again, this rear end, here's another look at that. I broke the bolts off and it still hasn't come loose. So I don't know. I don't know how to get that off. So it might just come off with the rear end and then we'll use that other one. But up in here, the frame rail's up in here. This is really just scaly from, it's not rotted through. So I should be able to clean that up and just kind of spray it. It should be okay. All right, you don't like it that I did this? Fine. All right, hold on one second. All right. There we go. Well, look at that. I mean, that's practically like new, which is not necessarily what we're going for, but we'll cover that back up with either dark blue or maybe even, I guess this is the factory color, this blue here. I think I'm going to do the innards this color, just inside here. So there's that. I mean, I got a little bit of this cut out. It's going to take a minute. I might have to get some better metal cutting tools. I just need a couple of new blades. I wire wheeled that and just quickly coated it with some primer. And I mean, I think we'll be able to clean this thing up. It's just going to be a lot of work, that's all. But I don't think it's anything to be afraid of. So, attitude changed. Well, Michael just put the bat signal up. It's Sunday. He said, time for a cold beer. So, I think we're going to go do that. Catch you when we get going on this again. Good morning. All right, back out here. I was just peeking at this. I think we're going to be getting aggressive. I'm going to cut or get the suspension out of it. I'm going to make it a little bit more lighter. So without this, the only thing really left to make it that heavy, without the suspension in it, front and rear, I think I'll be able to move it around a little bit easier. I'll be able to flip it upside down and work on it, bottom. The tins, if you try to take these off, I do not think they're going back on. They are all welded on. Everything is welded on, so these tins are not coming off. So this is our body that we're working with. The thing I was just looking at actually is this rear end. Obviously I said I want to change it to the other one, but I'm curious with that motor if it'll fit here, and when I go to start trying to get this to move up and down, is it going to hit here? So I'm like, oh, wonderful. The other thing is I think I'm going to go with air shocks due to the fact that there isn't a ton of room back here. And then once I have that other motor in, there's going to be even less in this center section. So I think we'll do air shocks. I'll have a arm that comes down from there that'll stick just past the axle, which is what I've seen people do before. You'll reverse it. This will be on top. And I think what we'll do is we'll mount something here, and it'll just kind of be sitting at this angle here. So I think that's going to be the plan. In the meantime, though, I might just cut the spring, take this shock out, and see how it articulates without before I take it fully out. But that's going to be the plan. We'll take the seat off, and that way I'll be able to flip it around a little bit easier. So I'm just going to kind of get after that, be grinding and pulling some suspension stuff apart. I'm hoping these bolts come out. Looks like they should. They've got some threads on them yet. So hopefully all that comes apart. We'll get these brake cables off. I'm going to try and save this, but obviously I need to put some new stuff here. And then I think I'm just going to, I don't know if I'll cut all that out. Maybe I can make a new one. I don't know. I'd like to replace this. It's solid, but it's so pitted. So I'm just going to get to work cleaning and getting some of these parts and pieces off. Front end again. I was looking at how I'm going to deal with this joint. I'm wondering if I can make one that swings a little bit and it will go up and down as the front goes up and down. I think that's probably the way to go and leave everything else the way it is. But we'll test the front out. We'll get the plastic off the front, see how far this moves, because that's basically going to be take those shocks out, and we should be able to see how far up that'll go. So we'll try that before I get it all the way out, which is, you know, these bolts here. So here we go. All right, status update. Front end is sort of apart. Bounces around pretty good. I got the gear out. Kind of worked on those controls a little bit, but I was able to get to this bolt right here. It's still sitting in there. It'll be easier on that other side. I didn't loosen, all these are loose to get that spring out, because evidently to get it to drop, I got to take some of those springs out. I started testing some paint, which that looks pretty good. The goal is when you open this, it looks all new, but all this stays the same. So just kind of testing the match there. I mean, it's going to brighten it right up, but you get the idea. Still working on cutting out a lot of that dead metal. Brake cables are out. Whatever this thing is called is out. Cut that out. That's really it. I've been at it for about 3 hours, so. All right, I spun it around. Here's the other side. I'm gonna put a mask on, grind on some of this. Something bottomed out. This is all flexed out. But that could be the buckle we've got here. I mean, I don't see anything obvious, but this thing must have, you know, bottomed out at some point pretty good. So I'm gonna wire wheel a bunch of this stuff first, cut some more off. I'm gonna cut that shock out. I got the bolt loosened here. And then we'll just, this side is way worse than the other side, but we'll see what we can clean up, see where we're at after we clean that up. All right, I'm gonna clean up, done for today. So I'm priming this because it'll be easier to get off for when we start welding stuff. But a lot of this cleaned up really nice. Wire wheeled a lot of the center here. I got a lot of the rust in the center cut out. I still got to work on that there. I might do that when I have the thing completely upside down. We'll get up in there, but I want to be able to tape some of that off because I do want to paint up in here, but I should paint it after we weld all the new stuff in. Getting ready to get this rear end out. The only thing holding the front end in now is these three pretty much, and the steering. And I'm going to call it a day for today. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, so since the last time I had a clip, that was about 3 days ago. We've had some snow, we had Thanksgiving. Today's Saturday. I came out for a little while and cut the rest of this battery tray out of here, and I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at. Getting to the point now where I'm ready to tape off and maybe throw some primer in here. But really what we should do is I should weld in my new battery tray, and then we can start kind of painting. On the next episode, we'll get working on that. We'll learn how to weld together. That'll be fun. And then get the rest of the suspension out of this thing. We'll take the rear end out of this other cart that's sitting behind you, and we'll start fitting those other pieces and start making sure that we can get this cart to go up and down the way that I want it to. So thanks again for watching, sticking through me on this video. I started editing it together, and I did do a lot of talking. So hope you stuck through it with us, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.